Play that one. Play that one.
What's up, my Zoe babies? It's your girl Tempthaitian, and I'm back with another video. If it's your first time, welcome, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because temptation is just irresistible, period. So I'm making a video about me, making a wig for my birthday. So I already got into the plucking, and I'm already starting the process of bleaching, so we just gonna take it from there, period. I'm not a professional hairdresser. This is just an experiment. I locked my hair for like 9, almost 10 years, so this is something different that I wanted to try for my 23rd, so here we go. All right, Zoe baby, so the first thing we're starting off with is bleaching the knots. I use 30 volume developer, and as you can see, L'Oreal Quick Blue. I chose this because it helps with toning. So this is what it looks like after plucking the frontal. This is the consistency you want to achieve so that it doesn't run through your lace and bleach your hair. So we're just gonna get right into bleaching this lace, honey. As you can see, I'm using a very light hand. What you don't want to do is smudge it through, because it's gonna push it through the lace and bleach your knots. So just be careful of that. So here we go. I'm showing you. Just take your time with it. You're gonna get through it eventually. So I'm finished. I let it sit for about 15 minutes, and I put aluminum on top just to help with the processing. After you let it process, you're gonna wash it with ISO Plus neutralizing shampoo. This is supposed to stop the bleaching process. As you can see, the knots look really good. It looks a lot more natural now. See, and then it didn't touch any of the hair strands. That's what you want. So here I'm showing you what my braids look like. I'm about to watercolor, dye, whatever you want to call it, my bundles and my frontal. I want my hair jet black, period. Because you see, my hair is black. I don't like that natural blonde. So on with the rest of the video. Oh yeah, I forgot. I got 8 braids. So if y'all need a guide, if y'all got locks, y'all can see I got 8 braids, and then I sewed up the backs as flat and as best as I could. You know what I mean? The best I could do, baby. I'm sorry. So I'm getting ready to do my ball cap while the water's boiling, so I could watercolor my bundles black and my frontal. So now we're in business. So I put 2 caps on, one for my locks and the other for the ball cap part. So just watch me do it, period. So we start off by spraying Got to Be from ear to ear. Less is more, ladies. Less is more. You don't want that ashy look after you dry it. So I know I should have poked the holes through my stocking cap so that my ears could lay flat and that it could have a better lay, but it worked either way, as you can see. So here I am blow drying it, and here I go poking a hole through so that my ears can fit. So it's best to just poke a small hole and squeeze your ear through so that it could lay the flattest instead of actually cutting around the ear. See, look at that. And then now here I am cutting the excess stocking cap. So you can, as you cut, pull the actual stocking cap back if there is too much. And you're gonna see me do that as it goes on. But just take your time with it, because if you cut too much, there is no going back, sister. See, even here, I feel like I put a little too much Got to Be, because you see that cast right there, but there's only so much you can do. And it doesn't really show through the lace if you do it correctly, but girl, this process took way longer than I thought it did, and I try to do it smart, like, okay, so here I'm using the Adore dye. I got one bottle in velvet black, and that was by accident. But it's supposed to all be jet black, but it still didn't change anything. So I put all 3 bottles in a boiling pot of water, You could use a bowl, and I use a plastic knife because I didn't want to use my silverware. So here I go. I put the bundles in. So here's what's important, sister. When you take the bundles out the plastic, please do not unravel it because it makes it a lot more difficult for you to detangle when it's wet. So now I'm about to do the frontal. So what's important about this is that you spray got to be on it. I sprayed at least three layers of got to be on the lace before I did this, just to protect the lace in case that it tinted the lace. Now, while I was doing this, I made sure that I used the sides of the pot to hold the frontal up and out of the water while most of the hair is dipped in the water. And I take my time with this, going side by side. A few spots did hit the water, and after I washed it, it didn't affect it at all. So here I'm washing it. You can use any shampoo you want. I use the charcoal shampoo, but you see, doesn't that look good? It's a lot darker now, and my lace isn't tinted. So I'm rinsing it out, and I'm washing it with the charcoal shampoo that I just mentioned. Those knots look great, honey. You can't tell me nothing. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm doing this voiceover outside, baby. I'm working at the same time, so bear with me, sister. Yes, lace. Yes. Period. Periana. Okay. So wash your lace off too, because as I mentioned before, you spray the Gotsby, or you should have. See, this is what I was talking about. This actually unraveled because I don't know what I was thinking, but that was just for me to show y'all not to unravel your bundles before watercoloring them. Okay, so while I was doing that, I had the elastic band on just to melt the bald cap. You see how melted that is? But even then I had some straggling in, so I cut the extra off. This process is like, you touch it up when you can, or whenever you see something wrong. Oh, sorry if you hear extra noises. Okay, so I'm gonna keep cutting off extra until it's to my liking. And but yeah, that's a great ball cap, don't you think? It looked good to me. It looks nice. Period. So here we go. So I'm getting into sewing it. So this really isn't a wig. It's like a sew-in with the frontal. When you sew your frontal on, place it in the place you want it or you need it to be. And then sew it in like several different areas, like the middle of the side, and the middle of the other side. So that way when you're sewing, you won't have to technically hold it in all places while you're sewing, because you can only do so much at once. Then when you start your I didn't show this footage before, but I did sew the ball cap to the bottom of my locks, and then I went in with the tracks. Sewing's pretty easy. Just know that for the bottom tracks, I did do it single, and as I got towards the middle of my hair, I doubled the wefts. This needle was actually sharp, and it was very difficult to sew. You see me going mad slow, but when I was younger, I don't remember these needles being this sharp, but it was sharp, and I kept stabbing myself. So yeah, you see how the flap on the lace is still sticking up? So that's because, how I mentioned earlier, I sewed like each section down before actually sewing the lace down. I just got tired of doing the lace and went straight into the tracks. So that's why it's still sticking up like that. And also I didn't cut the ear tabs yet, but I'm just going through the motions right now. Look at me, I'm moving so slow. But you could basically see I follow the U shape. And the closer you get to the middle, your tracks are gonna go straight. After this track is when I believe I start doubling. But for me, I did not cut my wefts until I finished and got to the lace. But what I did was I folded it over. So as you can see, I'm trying to sew it as close to where the frontal is gonna lay as possible. And then when I do that, I flip it over. But what you have to keep in mind is when you get to the very edge, sew a couple extra stitches so that it doesn't pull away from the um stocking cap. You want it secure, so just stitch it a couple times before you fold it over. So this is where I flip the weft over. So when you flip the weft over, you don't want to like twist the weft so that the hair is going in the opposite direction. As you see, when I flipped it over, the hair is still like, or the weft is still pointing down, if that makes sense. It kind of mimics a zigzag pattern. You just want to make sure you're not doing too many twists and turns with your wefts because you want this as flat as possible. I know the back of my locks look big, but honestly, honey, I've seen girls with less hair than me with bigger humps on the back of their head, okay? Eventually I will be adding more bundles to my hair because at the end result, it wasn't thin at all. It's just I'm extra and I want my hair really thick. So when the hair is thick, it really does disguise that little hump in the back. I'm not even really worried about that. What's most important for this install is the lace, but we're going to get into that later. So I got 4 bundles. I really only needed 3, but I think I'm gonna double 1 since I'm in the top middle because I want my hair to be done thick, but this hair is not thin. Now it's time to get into this lace, honey. This is the important part. So this right here, do not use it. Do not use it. You see that ashy cast at the front of my bald cap? My bald cap was perfect before I used it. So I had to go in with foundation because that spray tint from Eben actually ruined my install, but I still made it work. That ashy cast really got everywhere. It got all over my skin. It got all over the lace. I mean, obviously because I sprayed it on the lace, but it made my lace even more ashy, even though it's supposed to make my lace even more brown. So it kind of defeated the purpose. And with your lace, you don't want too much product buildup. So to help, I wiped it with some alcohol Then I applied my glue. I applied 2 layers. So this is what's important for this part. When you apply your layers, apply them very thin as possible. In my case, I applied 2 layers. So you see, I feel like for my install to be as good as I wanted it to be, I should have done thinner layers for the 2 layers that I did, considering I had sprayed that faulty tint spray, and it was a hot mess, boo, but I had to figure it out and make it work. So I had cut my lace into 4 sections. I feel like it's easier to apply that way. So when you're applying, when the glue is clear, pull your lace down section by section and comb it through, then blow dry. As you can see, I'm blow drying right now. I went through all the sections and just making sure that the lace is really combed in, melted, boo. We need this lace melted, despite the fact that that spray ruined everything. So after you do that, I don't cut the lace yet. I like to place an elastic band just to help with the melt as I style or begin the styling process. We're just trying to tame these knots, honey, because it looks a little frizzy. So I'm going to apply some heat protectant and get into straightening. So I just take section by section. I do the I do the comb through method. And what really blew me was that I burned my comb. Like, I burnt the hell out of my comb, but I still was able to use it. That flat iron was a good flat iron because it melted my comb. It went up to 450. So I'm just straightening my hair as my lace is melting, section by section. This is not going to be the only time I straighten it. I did straighten it twice to achieve the look I wanted. So it's very important that you use heat protectant because you want to treat this hair as if it's your own, because it was not cheap, honey. This is your hair. Take care of it if you want it to last. You don't want some scraggly ends before you even got to really rock your style. So yeah. Here is where the disaster began. You see how that tint spray got all over my forehead. You see how ashy it made my lace look. So with cutting your lace, you just cut it section by section, cut in a zigzag motion. To help with the ashiness, I thought it would be best to cut a little bit more of the lace. So I'm just figuring it out, cutting it in zigzag motion, and then I'm gonna work on fixing it. It's an easy fix though, but I'm just warning y'all. If you chocolate like me, baby, just save yourself the trouble. Like, that tint spray is not made for us. I gotta find a better one. Or I could just do it the old school way and just get some dye and tint my lace. Here, I was starting to freak out. Like, look at that ashiness. Here I go, trying to rub it off, doing everything I can. I'm just glad it worked out in the end, but I was so mad because I was doing so well for almost the entire process. Oh, that's so irritating. So then like I said, I was thinking about cutting the extra lace off. Oh, girl, it was a hot mess. All right, so now it's time to cut the ear tabs. So you section off where your ear falls. I like to cut above the ear, and then I pull my hair back, clip it, and then I clip off the rest behind my ear. Pretty simple, not rocket science, but I do that for both sides. Look at me, still trying to get this lace. So this is where I feel like it's too much lace in the front because of the ashiness. Oh God, that spray ruined everything. But and that spray is like real cake. I don't know. I feel like the 2 layers of glue plus that spray made it look extra cakey. But I don't know. I camouflaged it really well. Like the end result made it look really nice. So this is where I just apply the makeup. That makeup saved my entire life. I would have just been better off tinting my lace with some makeup instead of using that spray, honey. When in doubt, just use makeup. Like a lifesaver. I use my foundation, Kiss Pro foundation in the color Cognac. So if you my color, honey, use it. You can get it from any beauty supply store. Then I applied Black Radiance press powder in the color Mocha. So I feel like whenever you apply a cream product, it's important for you to set it. So yeah, you see it looks a lot more natural now. That's all it needed was some makeup, honey. Whew. I was so concerned. So now I'm going into my part because, honey, it's looking wiggy. So I just wanted to get into my part. Rat tail comb, baby. Start from your nose, bring it all the way back. This is a 13x6 frontal. Thank God. I hate 13x4 frontals. They just don't give that natural look. I'm just assessing my frontal right now. So I'm spraying this heat protectant spray and shine mist because this is where I'm about to flatten my hair again and hot comb. I'm about to bring this frontal to life, baby. It's starting to look good now. So I'm using the bedhead wax stick before I hot comb the frontal. This is just supposed to help with the flyaways. It didn't have too many flyaways, but I want no flyaways. So yeah, here I go. I don't think my hot comb was hot enough because, or maybe the hair was just already silky after flat ironing it, but it looks good. It looks real good. The hair is really soft, and I was really pleased after applying that makeup, girl. I was scared. It's still kind of ashy, but you know, it looks a lot better. So this is my second time flat ironing my hair. I just wanted a bone straight look because the next day I was going on an interview, which I did well on. It's starting to look real good now. It's giving scalpish. getting into like really customizing this look. So I'm just cutting out the sideburns and the baby hairs I want to utilize to finalize the frontal look. I'm not doing too much. I don't want the real thick baby hairs. I just want them thin and soft, just to really complement the look. So I'm using the ORS olive oil wrapping mousse, and I just use my little edge brush. I applied the mousse to my hand first, the back of my hand, and then I go in with as much product as I need, and I just, do what I do. I do it until I'm happy with it. It's no real specific way to do it. It's just you do it until you like it, honey, and if you might be there for 20 minutes doing it. So have patience and really take care of your frontal so it can look like how it's supposed to look. Can we just get into the fact that I have no makeup on? Like, I have a little bit of what is it called? Eyeliner pencil on my brows. I like to darken my brows, but can we just get into the fact that my skin looks great, honey? And there is the finished look. I love how this came out. I was so scared it wasn't gonna work out, but I think I did pretty good for my first slay. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let a girl know. Follow, subscribe, honey. This was the finished look the next day.